Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody, viewers at home, everybody watching us today. I would like to say welcome again to the next episode of Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters. And my name, as usual, is Masako Zulu, and I'm your host for Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters, where today we are bringing you another fantastic episode where we talk about safety across all board. But particularly today, we are going to be talking about safety in the education sector, the roles and responsibilities of stakeholders of within the education sector. As I have said, my name is Masako Zulu, and I welcome you once again to Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And I would like to urge you to invite so many friends as you can, your families, call them to tell them that we have started here on Toolbox Talk and we are here to share another fantastic episode that is going to benefit you at home. With me today, I have one of our parents, one of my guests, whom we are going to be discussing the topic that is entitled Ensuring Safety in Education, the role of parents, ensuring safety in schools, which is the role of parents. As you may know that recently on the 2nd of November, we launched and we started School Safety Summit in Botswana, with the idea that as schools, as parents, as stakeholders around the school, as school community, we are all responsible for ensuring that, the school environment becomes safer and healthier for our next generation, for grooming a safety conscious child. Therefore, we had a lot of stakeholders who appreciated the event and who became part of it. And today we have one of those stakeholders to talk about their role in particular, to understand more what is expected from them and what they are doing as as stakeholders in the education sector. And like I said, we are talking to a parent, the association where we call it Parents Teacher Association. And today we have the National Publicity Secretary for Botswana Parents Teacher Association. Help me to welcome Mr. Moses Balipi Mpuchani with us today, who is with us today, whom we are going to be taking, he's going to be taking us through all this, through the program. Feel free to also use the comment section to put in your comments, your suggestions, your questions as we go along with the program. Rem Puchani, welcome to Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters. Introduce yourself, say.
Thank you, Masero. I am called Moses Balipi Mpuchana, the Publicity Secretary for Botswana National Parent Teacher Association. And being there is because I am the chairperson of the Northeast region and a chairperson of Masunga Senior Secondary School. This is how I come up to be sitting in the Botswana National PTA, because you have to start from the school to the sub district, and then from the sub district to the regional to Botswana National PTA. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rem Puchani, for that introduction. So I believe and I understand that being in the PTA, you are also a parent. So let us go on, Rem Puchani. Welcome once again to Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters, and we really appreciate that your association has really agreed to having you on board to discuss safety in schools, the role of a parent. Now, before we go on, let us now just give us a brief background of the origin of PTA National Committee. Where is it coming from? Because to my understanding, we only have PTAs in the schools, but it's of good thought that we now have the National Committee. Can you tell us more about the National Committee?
Yes, thank you very much. I think that is a very good question to so that people should understand how and where does Botswana National PTA come from. If we let me take you just back. But PTA started in 1966. It's as old as Botswana, and it started being called setting up the Parent Teacher Association. That was what its first name. And actually, the guidelines there was formed to assist schools, and that there might be a good relationship between parents and teachers. This is the committee that actually advocates for a good relationship between parent and teachers and children or students at large. So in 2012, when Honorable Minister or the former Honorable Minister Mitoi, um, after our campaign for the national PTA and the umbrellas, which are now called the regional PTAs, because we had a problem in schools. And as we were having problems with politicians, I'm sorry to say that, with politicians, because when they go to the field, because they are looking for their bread and butter, they will tell people different stories that actually uh, brings about conflicts between parents and teachers. That's when now we started to advocate for regional PTAs and the national PTA because for us to meet with the leaders, we cannot all the PTAs from the schools come to meet the leaders. And it will be very bad for one school to come, tomorrow another school comes, another one comes. That is why we came up with a regional PTA, so that in regions we will be able to talk to the regional director operations. Those are the people we report to in regions. But with the Botswana National PTA, we report straight to the PS. And that's the person now we talk to, because that's where we bring all the problems of the PTAs countrywide. This is how it came about. And that's when the former minister, Honorable Minister Pilonomi Vincent Muitoi, came on board on 2012 and called all the PTAs to come together and formulate the Botswana National PTA. So this is how it came about, so
Wow.
that we can encounter and solve the problems encountered by the PTAs in schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rempuchani, for that elaborated background on the origin of the national PT. I believe it is highly recommended and it is highly applauded that we have this kind of setup. And as you have mentioned, it basically addresses issues of control. Looking at the hierarchy of control and also good communication channel. So I believe it is serving its main purpose, and going forward, we'll see more and more benefits and great communication channels being utilized. So, Rempuchani, thank you very much, as you have said. And ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, this is Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters, and today we are hosting the publicity secretary for National PTA in Botswana, who is Moses Balipi Mpuchani, whom we are going to be talking about ensuring safety in school, the role of parents. As he has mentioned that, PTA, it is there to advocate for a good relationship between teachers, parents, and children. We are not going to be leaving the children out of it. Rampuchani, let us go on and now go into the main discussion of our webinar today. We are here talking ensuring safety in schools. We are talking safety in schools, and I have said that, like I've said that we had this summit where we were advocating as well, and bringing up the idea that we need to be involved as stakeholders when it comes to safety in schools, when it comes to our children's safety. So in this case, now we are talking to you, the association, as parents, talking to myself as a parent, talking to a parent at home, whether they have a child at school or what, but still they have gone to school. We want to address, the issues now, to understand what our roles are as it comes to, when it comes to safety in schools. But before we go on, let us now look at the school setup. We are talking safety in schools. As PTA, you have said that you are advocating for a good relationship between parents, teachers, and children. Can you please tell us more about that? What you have been doing as PTA and as parents, how you are working together with the schools, and the challenges as well that you have been seeing there.
Thank you very much, Masego. This is one of the problems that we are actually facing. It's a very big challenge anyway, but I normally believe to start with challenges, then later we go to successes. But because you have already started with it, I will start with it. Um, I want to believe, one thing that I want us to understand is that, one, a teacher is a parent. There's one thing that I want people to understand, is that because we are taking a teacher, and we put a teacher in a different platform, forgetting that a teacher is a parent. I want us to understand that. And being a parent, it's a parent who is being hired, who is working under a contract. And that is what differentiates a teacher and a parent. It's a one who is running the policies of the education, one who cannot challenge those policies because he is the driver. And if a policy, for an example, says there should be no punitive punishment to children, a teacher cannot say no. He or she has to follow it. But that's when the parent now comes in, because that's where actually now we are, as parents, we have to come in to advocate that let there be a discipline, teachers to discipline children, because without discipline, children will go astray. And at the end, riots will come in schools. And when riots comes in schools, that's the time now the school becomes unsafe. Because children or the students now, they become obsessive and do not conduct themselves in a good manner. And this is why in some schools, there were some strikes coming in. And it is because of the environment being unsafe. And for the safety of the school to be better, is that as parents, we come in and assist the teachers to discipline the students. And how do we come in? To me, it's a matter of fact that whenever there is an indiscipline in any school, the best way and the best remedy is to call the parent, the blood parent, or the bona fide parent, to come and sit with his or her son or daughter next to her, as when you will be solving and going through the conflict. Then they have to ask, what was the problem? Why did you take this step? Was it good for you to take this step rather than taking this? Why weren't you doing this? So that also helps a lot for a better conduct to the children. Sorry, just hold on. Ke santse ke na le ba S.H.E Masters.
Ladies and gentlemen, pardon us about that. It's one of those things that do happen, but Ren Puchani here is actually taking us through what they are doing as parents. And he mentioned that, teachers are parents as well, and also parents have the responsibility to assist, mark this way, to assist parents during, within the school environment to ensure safety. Rem Puchani is still going on with his explanation. Rem Puchani.
That disturbance, that is another member of the PTA, National PTA, who is in Northwest. He was calling, but anyway, thanks for that. Also, we should understand that a parent is a teacher, and a parent is a lifetime teacher of his or her own child. But going to the school, a child is just going through a transition. And through that transition, it's on temporary basis. And when he finishes or she finishes schooling, she comes back home. During holidays, she is home and the parent is the teacher. And you will teach your child throughout his life. Even today, all my children have gone, they have passed, they have finished their schooling, and they are still under my teaching. And this is where now we need to safeguard our children, safeguard the properties, governmental properties, safeguard the teachers by coming together, having a good relationship and sitting together, having policies that will suit both parent, teacher, and children. Because the structure of the PTA is that it's a parent, a teacher, and a student. And this is a three-legged pot. And as parents and PTAs, we advocate for more stakeholders to come in. Stakeholders like S.H.E Masters, those who've got the capabilities of training our teachers on safety matters or safety measures, training our parents on safety measures, training our children on safety measures, and those that could teach or train our children on good behavior so that the school remains what we call a friendly school, whereby now it's a child-friendly school. Because if it is not a child-friendly school, a child might end up leaving school because the school environment it's not suitable for that child. A ke itse gore a ke go arabile mongane.
Thank you very much, Rempochane. That is absolutely what we are looking to hear from a parent like you and heading the association also of parents. You have mentioned quite a few points, quite a few challenges, quite a few points that as PTA you are actually looking at. And one thing that is really catching my eye and that is of interest to me is that when you talk about all these things that what the challenges and also what the expectations are, is that you continue to mention the relationship between the parent, the teacher, and the child. You have mentioned that this is a tripod, a three-legged pod, that when one leg is missing, it will not be firm, it will not stand properly. So therefore, there is no how we cannot talk about the school, a safer and healthier school environment, when we are eliminating one of these the role players, or the people that we are actually looking at. You have also mentioned that parents are there, they need to assist teachers are also parents on contract, but they have a limit because they work on particular schedules to say that, or particular regulations to say that this is what you can do, but this is not what you can do. But Rampuchan, my question here now is that it has changed. This was not the case before. If I am not correct, you can correct me. We knew that a long time before Rempuchani, I would believe, pardon me to say this, that I believe during your school days, a teacher was a teacher, and a teacher was a real parent that does not have to get permission from a parent, or to consult a parent to say, come and talk, let us have a talk with your child and discipline the child together, or what. A teacher would do whatever that is necessary to be done by then, and the child will just hear, you will just hear as a parent at home that the child was disciplined, and on top of that, you as a parent, or the parent at home, would even discipline the child even further. But that has changed, because now we are saying that now the parents and the teachers should come together and sit the child down. And remember, Rempuchani, Kana, this child is coming from home. This child is coming from home. So what do you say about this change that we have now, where now teachers have to have the parents, they having to discipline the child or even talk to the child? Where is the change coming from, and how is it, and is it working now, or what?
Right. Thank you very much. All this, Masero, it's all about politics. Politics have actually polluted. I'm sorry to say that. Politics have polluted the system. Because when I grew up, you were right. During my school days, to us, if it was today's time, I would say a teacher was a horror to me, because he would beat you the way he would like to beat you. Even if you would have your skin have scars because of the lashes he has walloped you. Your parent will even add more on top of those lashes again, because they would say a teacher wouldn't discipline you like this if you haven't gone out of the way. But things have changed because of politics, and things have changed because of today's lifestyle, and because of today's health wise or health system because we are no longer as strong as before. I will tell you, when I grew up, my parent will just pull up firewood from the fire and just beat me with that stick, or even pull that porridge stick from the pot and hit me with it. But I wouldn't die like today. Today is very simple. You hit a person, dies easily, because our bodies are so weak. I don't know whether it's because of the food we eat today, or is it because of the medicinal we are taking. I don't know. I don't know why we are weak. And because of this weakness, and also the bad attitude, I'm sorry to use that word, bad attitude, that it's encompassed by some of the parents. A parent would say, who are you to caution my child? A parent who would come to school and say, this is my daughter or this is my son. You don't have the right to discipline him. You don't have the right to question him. This is where everything has gone wrong. And this is where PTA comes in now to say, whoa, let's come here, hold our horses. Please, you are a parent. Let's come, sit down, let's talk. Let's see where the problem comes now and solve the problem. And if a child has gone this far and has done this and this and this, what are you saying? And we are saying, I totally believe and agree with those who says a lash is not the one that actually would direct a child, because we need to build the children. They need to be capacitated. And to capacitate them is to educate them and give them a better education and empower them with a good discipline and the good conduct, so that they should know how to behave and how to take them to a better tomorrow. Because without a good behavior, tomorrow it's a horror to them. Because no one will be able to hire somebody who does not behave well. Because I think even with you there as S.H.E Masters, you wouldn't like to be with me, or you wouldn't even like to sit with me now if I am a bad parent, and who can mislead people and who would lead people into a wrong direction. We need people who
Yes,
will take have a safer and a healthier environment in the school,
exactly.
because that's the only way we
Error. Sorry about that. Thank you very much, Rempuchani. That's absolutely right. What you are saying, that before it was like this. It's like now the system have a little bit has changed there and there. But I am not really sure if you are talking about politics more, that the politics have really polluted and all that. Um, I would want to believe that, and also look at the maybe, for a lack of a better word, would say maybe like children's rights, all those policies, all those inventions that are there, that are actually talking about the children's rights, and having to to adapt the system, other people's systems, to bring them into our own cultural system, and try to change our system. But the question is, do we understand where that system is originating from, and where it's coming from, and where it is going, the intention of the system? And that is a question for another day that we'll elaborate on as we go on. You did also mention that before, during your school days, you'd know that a teacher has the responsibility of a full parent as home, and your parent would know that if you see a teacher doing this to you, that means you have done something, and the teacher would not just do such a kind of discipline on you. So the parent would also add on to that. And I think Rempuchane, that also gave the children that feeling and that understanding that my parent and my mother at home are the same. There's no how I can disrespect the other. So I just want us to look at that point, Rempuchan, and to say that, as you have mentioned, that the parents will be saying to the teachers, how can you talk to my child like that? How can you do that to my child? What is it, Rempuchane, that we see maybe as parents, because we are talking about the role of parents in ensuring safety in schools here? Let us try to look at the root cause of all the problems that we are seeing in the school environment, and try to trace back to our homes now. What is it as parents that what is it that we are doing as parents at home that is negatively contributing, or even positively contributing, because we are talking about the positives and the negatives, that is positively contributing in making a school a good environment in this perspective of the child that we are building now? What is it that parents are doing at home, or the home state is inflicting or is influencing in the life of the child, for the child to behave the way they are behaving, whether positively or negatively, at school?
right, right. There's something here, Masego, which I want us to understand. Remember, there are parents who are just parents because they brought children into this earth. Understand me there. If you don't understand me, you'll ask me a question. There are parents who do know nothing about parenting completely. And these are the parents who are just interested in seeing their children being able to read and write. How do they achieve this reading and writing? They don't care how they get it. I don't know whether you understand me there. I'll give you an example. There are those parents who have taken children to boarding schools, who had never, not even a single day, went to see their children. They don't know whether they are eating properly, whether they are running short of what, and it is the teacher's baby. And those teachers who've got a heartfelt of a parent are the ones now who are taking care of those children. And these parents are the ones who are being moreover being polluted by politics because they don't understand the language of politics. Because the language of politics is only there to safeguard the interests of a politician so that he wins the souls of those who are ignorant. Because if you are ignorant, you are going to fall in the pitfall. And the rights, I want to come here when we're talking about the rights of the children. There's a problem because we don't understand about the rights. The first right of a child is to honor his or her parent. And that is one of the very, very, very rights of the children, which were even set by God Himself. Honor thy father and thy mother, so that thy days may be long. That is the first right, and which now our children are overriding it. It is the right of a child to be guided by the parent. And today, our children, they don't want to be guided by us as their parent. They want to be guided by their peer groups. This is where now things have changed because they will tell you about their rights. They've got the rights because they don't understand the rights, that their rights is there to honor their parents. And their right is not to lie. Thou shalt not lie. And thou shalt not kill. And by lying, you have killed somebody. You have killed somebody's soul because you lied to that person. And anything that you do outside the role of your parent, you are now putting the environment of the school into danger because you are no longer now following the rights. Their rights are there, they are fine. The only problem is that we don't understand them. I think it is high time that our social workers, they bring parents and teach parents about Children's Act so that they should understand the rights of the children. Because we as parents, we don't even understand and we don't know that Children's Act overrides any policy on this country, because we are talking of the interest of a child and we want the safety of a child. So it is best for our government to look into this. The problem is that PTA, we are running short of funds or resources. We would be resourcing parents so that our schools can be safe. Our schools can be in a good situation. Children wouldn't be vandalizing premises as they are vandalizing them. They wouldn't be vandalizing the desk as they are vandalizing them. because we would be now taking children step by step into their rights so that they should understand their rights. They should understand their uh, uh, situation, how they should control and how they should behave and go. I think let me stop that far because hey, this is
Yes,
issues.
Remputen.
I'm touching the heart of
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But we are really learning a lot. We are really learning a lot. We are really learning a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters. As you see today, I have a parent. I have a Mr. Moses Mpuchani, who is the publicity secretary for National PTA in Botswana. And today we are talking the role of parents in ensuring a safer and healthier schools. What is it that parents are supposed to do? What are the challenges that parents are facing and they are seeing as the PTA, when it comes to making a school environment safer? Now we are going to be learning and we are getting a lot of understanding now where PTA stands and what is supposed to do and what a parent should do. And one thing that I've really appreciated today is that Rempuchani is talking about that we have different kinds of parents. We have parents whom are just having their children there and they don't really worry about how those children are learning, what they are doing at schools. They just want to see, children going to school and learning how to read and write. But what he is saying is there is less involvement in the life of the child, the journey through, the learning process and collaboration and interaction with their teachers, which is what we are talking about today. We are talking about the responsibility of parents. Rampuchan, before we even as we go on, as we come closer to the end of our program today, I just want us now to look at this. You have talked about that, some of the parents, like you have said, are just interested in having the children going to school and that. But in health and safety, this is what we always say, that we want the main aim of health and safety is for employees to go to work safely and come back home safely to their parents, to their families. Now, this is the same thing when it comes to the school environment. We have teachers who are employees. They need to go to school safe and come back home safe. We have uh, the students who are clients as well, and they also have to go to school safe and come back home safe. We have visitors, parents, workers. We have the community at large who needs to enter the premises, and that premises, the school environment should not be in any way harmful to the surrounding within it, around it. So let us now look at the incidents that have been happening. Now we have seen a lot of news on social media, on the media, on the national medias, that there are so many cases that are happening, children violating, like you have done, like you have said, making some violations at schools, some of them losing their lives. We have children missing in other countries, like in Nigeria. Children are missing, are just abducted like that, rape, a lot of issues that are happening within the school environment. Let us now look at those cases and try to address them and to see that where are we going wrong? What is it that we need to do as stakeholders, particularly as now we are looking at parents? What is it that we have to do, and what is it that we have been doing, Rempuchane, as Parents Association and as parents, to address these issues to make a school a better place?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One thing that actually now, the one challenge that we are facing is that the schools are making policies, or the ministry is making policies without involving parents. And when they make these policies, some of the policies that are being made, you'll find that they've got some weaknesses. And these weaknesses are the weaknesses that do mislead children. E.g., or for an example, if a policy comes, says no child shall be suspended when he or she has violated the policies of the school. No child shall be expelled from school for misbehaving. We are opening doors to mischievous. We are opening doors for children to misbehave. And those that do take drugs, I'm sorry because I didn't talk about that one. There are children who take drugs, but those children, they don't take drugs from their parents. A child might leave home free from drugs, but because there is another parent there, as I said, there are those parents. A parent who lives on drugs, and he starts now to mislead this child, and this child gets out of the way, not because of the bona fide parent, not because of the blood parent. Here comes somebody who has got a friendship bond and money bond, money laundering, which is one of those things that I'm saying. Because PTA doesn't have resources, we need to take these things to parents so that they should understand these things, so that they can safeguard their children from these things, so that the school becomes a safe and a healthy environment. And where a child can even run to when he is being abused home. But if the school is not safe and is not healthy, a child won't run there because he would think that if I go there, there are those bullies who are going to bully me. As already you have said, we can't just mention school by school. I know there are things that have happened recently, which you have seen on social medias. Um, and this is because children or the students, when they hear that they won't be, no teacher should punish, no teacher should discipline a child. They know that teachers are mere people, and they don't even look at them as their parent. They don't even look at them as their teachers. They just look at them as their peers, because of how we present. To me, the policies are okay, but the way we present them, it's wrong. Presentation must be done in a rightful manner so that somebody must understand it. But if the presentation is done roughly, somebody would never understand. And this is where now I would say, S.H.E Masters, I would cry to you, though I haven't come to that, though we haven't come to an end. I would cry to you. I would actually lean my head on your chest and cry that my tears may fall on your chest. Say, there you are. We are just a non-profit making organization, an organization that does not have even a single tebe. And we are not being even given an allowance. Though you see I'm here now, there is no allowance that I'm getting. But because of the passion, because I want to see our education going somewhere, I want to see our educational system being one of the best educational system. Here I am. And those co-partners of mine also whom I am with, they want to see the education going somewhere. We don't want to see children failing. And there's not even a single parent who wants to see his or her son or daughter failing because they want them to pass. And if I may take you back to the Kidikilwe Commission, the 1993 Kidikilwe Commission about the multi-sectoral education, which we could have followed long time ago, and we could be very far. And I will tell you now, we don't have doctors, and our doctors that we are having today, they are very few because of just failing English. Whereas a person has passed physics, he has passed chemistry, he has passed biology, whereby he can go and do his the profession of doctorate. And we don't have surveyors who have actually passed the education on survey, because he or she understood the language there. But because he could not understand the language of English, and he failed English, and then we say, no, this one cannot go, but he has passed the language here. To me, I don't know. I'm failing to understand it, because he is.
Ramkuchan, I don't want to cut you short there, but let me just invite my viewers at home and remind them that this is Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters. And if you have any question, please use the chat box to send questions so that we can share them with our guest today. And if you have any comment, feel free to put them down. And as I've said, S.H.E Masters Toolbox Talk today, we are with Rempuchan, and we are talking about how parents can ensure or promote or emphasize health and safety within the school environment. And we are talking with Rempuchani today, who's actually taking us through all these processes, and he's showing the need for understanding of the policies, for understanding of the law, for understanding of safety in the education sector, which is what S.H.E Masters is doing today as we do this webinars and we collaborate with them to say that, you know, we need to have a robust health and safety programs going on in within the education sector. The seriousness that we give to health and safety in the mining or the construction or other those intensive industries, we need to give it also to the education sector, because here we are grooming a generation that is safety conscious. And we shall continue to share information. We shall continue to advocate for good health and safety practices within the school. So Rempuchani, you are mentioning that, you know, it is coming from home. What we are doing at home could have an effect on the way the children are behaving as well in the school environment. That is what you are saying, what I'm getting from you here. But Rempuchani, let us now go to the point where now we are saying, now that we are seeing these problems here, what is it that we need to say to parents now? As a parent, Rempuchani, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do as a parent having a child going to school? What is my response? Where do I start now, Rempuchani? Let us mention that now. Where do I start to support the school in ensuring safety?
Thank you very much. Before I go into that one, I know there is always, you'll agree with me, there is this always question we say, ke sone se o se rutilweng ko sekolong. You know that question, we normally pose it to children. But we as parents, have we been taught that? If I may take that question back to us as parents. Do you see I say back to us as parents? I'm not saying back to you as parents, but back to us as parents. We say, is this what you had been taught at school? But had we been taught that? Because a child is going out. Instead of I now disciplining a child, showing this child that the route he or she is taking, it's wrong, and which now it's bringing up a safety and a healthy hazard in her life or his life. Instead of me now guiding that child, I'm saying, is this what you have been taught? So the best thing that we have to do as parents, we need to guide our children. And I don't want to forget that there are those parents who do not know how to read and write, but they are talented. They are talented because they are given that talent by God. And they can guide their children and give them better life by guiding them to be good listeners, to be good observers, and to be good doers. And these three, they go together. As we know, in Deuteronomy 28, it says, if you listen and adhere and do as I tell you, you will be blessed. And we need to guide our children day unto day, day, night, morning. We guide them. And we shouldn't forget that between the school and the house, there is that gap for those children who are not boarders, day scholars. There is a gap here between the house and the school. And that's where I was talking about a parent who mislead your child. And for you to guide this child now, make what we call a spot check. Sometime go to school. And when you get to school, just talk to the school head. I am here. I am Masego Zulu. I've got my daughter or son, so and so. He's in CG5. Uh, I would like just to check on his school bag, and you will be surprised. You will get a knife which you don't have at home. You will get uh,
Exactly, Rapushari. Like when you are talking about that, when you are like the point that you are raising that we have to do a spot check, I believe that is where now parents should come in. That is exactly what we are supposed to do as parents, to understand that the child that I have at home is totally a different child when they come to school, because like you are saying, there's that gap. You don't know what is going on within that gap. Is that gap improving your child, or is actually destroying your child? So like you're saying, it is very important for us to now take this opportunity as parent to say that let me just go to school and spot check on my child, because something might have happened within that time. And that is a very very good point that you are raising there, Mpuchane, that we need to actually do a spot check, and the children should actually know that my mom can just come in at any time and just check on me. How many of us parents do we go to school and just check on our children without necessarily having to be called by the school to by the teachers to school, or not necessarily having to go there when it's time for exam or parents meeting or whatever? Can we just go in and just do that? And that is a very good point, Rempuch, and that is a very good advice that we are doing, or that you are giving. A sport check, let us just do a sport check. And I believe again, this is where now you are actually emphasizing on what PTA is all about, to advocate for a good relationship between teachers, parents, and students. Because if there is that kind of a spot check, knowing that I can go to school anytime, there will be that relationship. The teacher will know that I have a support system from the parent, so which creates a kind of a good environment for the school. Yes.
okay, Masego, just to chip on there, what is happening here? The PTA guideline is there, and that thing is already in the PTA guideline, whereby a parent is allowed to come to school and even go into class and sit there, watch the teacher teaching, not spying on the teacher, but looking at the behavior of the students. Because when a teacher is facing a board, we had been at school. I'll tell you now, when a girl student, when she would leave her belt unbelted, we would tie her to the chair. But a teacher is facing at the board. He wouldn't even know that I've tied a girl child by her belt on the chair. And when she wants to stand up, she doesn't know that she has been tied on the chair. She will stand up and the chair will go with her, and it will make more noise. You see, that is the behavior that children do have. That is the kind of thing that we want parents to go there. And it is written on the PTA guideline. It's there. A, and a parent, I want to tell you, PTA on the guidelines and even on the policy, on the educational policy, PTA, it's an ungazetted, underline that, ungazetted inspector. And if the schools, the, the school head, the teachers can work hand in hand with PTA, that would even assist the school to solve some of the conflicts within the school amicably and mutually, though they are hired, they have contracts.
Yes,
But if
Rempuchan,
they don't work together,
I have a question
yes,
here
ma'am.
from one of our viewers. Let me not cut you short. Also, looking at our time, I have a question here from Zika Chris. He's asking what direct programs do Parents Teachers Association have to educate, train, and parents on modern ways of parenthood? I believe that one you have answered. You have said that currently there is nothing much that you are doing because of lack of funds and all that, but you are willing to engage in those kind of programs that will educate the parents as well. But he was also asking, how can parents use technology to assist the school in training their children? I believe, talking about this, to elaborate on his question again, we are looking at the issue of now COVID-19, where now our children had to be using computers, their phones, and online to do, like, lessons online and all that. And I believe that had kind of an impact on the way children are behaving now as well. And also looking at now that, our children are not our children really as well, because now they are being parented by social media, that be parented by the internet. That children of the internet, they're always on phones, and they're getting ideas, they're getting what to say and what to do on the internet, on social media platforms, and so that. So, as parents, how can we use technology to assist, schools in training? What is it that we can do as parents in that area? Do we really monitor what our children are doing? Because those things that they do, they copy them as well from the technology that we are advocating, that we need to use now, as in terms of the fourth revolution that is we are in now. So do we really even understand what it is? So, Rempushan, I'll just give you just 1 minute to elaborate on that, because to talk on that, because our time is not on our side.
Now, thank you very much, Masero. Thank you very much. And to the question, the policy is there on adopt a school or adopt a child. Parents are there. We are appealing to parents, to professionals there, to adopt schools, to adopt children. One who will be able to mentor a child on science, one will be able to mentor a child in English. You go to school and make an arrangement with the school. That is, it's a policy which is there. That is why we need technology. Technology has got its advantages and disadvantages. We believe it or not, it has got advantages and disadvantages. But we cannot say because it has got disadvantages, we won't take it up. But we need to teach our children and train them to use it accordingly. And because, in short, even when an episode is written not for children or not to be watched without guidance, they will always go around and want to see why this is not for children. They will always go and look for it. But it is for us now to guide these children. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rampuchani, for that. Thank you very much. Yes, obviously, when something is not for you, you'd want to see, that curiosity that killed a cat. You'd want to see why is it not for me? Are they saying parental guidance? What is it that they're watching that they don't want me to watch? And that is the mentality of a child. They'd want to explore. They'd want to figure out things. Thank you very much, Rempuchani, for that wonderful explanation, and taking us through the roles of a parent. And I believe what we are taking home today is that, as parents, let us do a spot check on our children. Let us do a spot check on our children. That is very important, that we believe that we have really gained for today, and a lot of insightful information that I believe is coming from the heart, not only for the work that you are doing, Rempuchani, but is from the heart as a parent. I would like to thank you very much for your participation, and I believe that viewers at home, you have really appreciated the conversation today that we had with Re Mpuchani. And with me, I am your host, Masego Zulu, for Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters, as we are bringing to you this episode today, and we look forward to having you again next week. And we believe that as the comments are coming in, they want a review or a repeat of this session, and I believe that in time we will bring again Rempuchani and part of his team, and also the other parents as well, to discuss further on this issue. As from me and Toolbox Talk, I would like to say, to invite you to this episode, to say that if you want to take part in Toolbox Talk, please do email us at hello@she-masters.com, hello@she-masters.com, or you can even WhatsApp us or send us a text or call us at +353894727 or +2526772784597. Email, WhatsApp, text, or even call us, and we shall be in touch with you to see how we can bring you into this wonderful talk show of ours. This is Toolbox Talk with S.H.E Masters, and we appreciate you being here. Do share, invite, and continue to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to not miss any of our episodes. And do visit our website, www.shemasters.com, to see more of our previous episodes that we have recorded. Thank you very much, and do have a lovely evening. Thank you.